A Florida man punched his father after being told to remove the prostitute. A Florida man robs a store of scratch-offs and then goes back to the same store to collect his winnings. A Florida man stole pigeons from someone's home, and a Florida man throws cheeseburgers at a strip club manager. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News. They're all from Florida because it's Florida Friday on Weird AF News. All the weirdest news from one place only. Florida Friday on Weird AF News. It's Florida. It's our favorite place. A Florida man is accused of punching his father after being told to remove a prostitute from their home. Well, talk about a strict father. Can't even have a prostitute over for dinner. What's wrong with that? I don't see the issue. I'm so glad my stepfather was lenient when it came to prostitutes in the house. I once had 3 prostitutes in my backyard playing wiffle ball with me. That was, those were the days, I tell you. We have here in this story out of Florida, a loving family out of Coral Springs. A Florida man is facing domestic violence charges after allegedly hitting his father during an argument that began when the father asked a prostitute his son had brought home to please leave the home. The father actually wasn't that polite about it. He's quoted as saying, "Son, dat hoe gotta go." And who can blame the dad for being alarmed that there is a woman of the night inside his home? You know, Florida man cares about reputation. It's very important. And for this family, I'm sure they want to appear as being upstanding citizens of a lovely community in Coral Springs. And now people are looking at them perhaps as a house of ill repute. And that's no good for the reputation. You want to be invited to the iguana bake-offs and the neighborhood orgies, don't you? Well, you got to appear upstanding. And now I'll finally dive into the Coral Springs police report, which claims officers responded to a family home where the victim told the police his son, Jonesy Ribeiro, age 32, had spent the day drinking alcohol with a woman he described as a prostitute. I wonder how he knew this was a prostitute in his home. He probably kept saying, "Honey, your hour's almost up, all right? Your hour's almost up. Does your father need anything? Hey, Big Daddy-O, do you need anything? You look like you could use an afternoon delight." It was at this moment that the father knew this was a prostitute, asked the woman to leave. Surprisingly, she complied. He said, "Ho, you gotta go," and that there ho got up and went. This, of course, angered the son, Jonesy. Records show Jonesy, the Florida man, allegedly became enraged, shouting verbal threats, telling his father he was going to, quote, beat his arse. Standing within 2 feet of his father, the Florida man continued yelling and refused to calm down or leave. You know, I want to judge, but I need more context. Whose house is it? Is it Jonesy's house or is it the father's house? I assume it's the father's house, but I don't know. Also, what's the history here? Have they shared prostitutes in the past? You know, you think a Florida man and a father would be down to share, you know, co-enjoy the company of a woman of the night. They probably have done such things. But, you know, for whatever reason, the father no longer wants to partake in these shenanigans. Maybe the father settled down. Maybe the mother got wind of all this tomfoolery. It was like, "Oh, son, look at it. If you're going to have a prostitute over, make sure mom isn't here." Maybe there's a little bit of that going on. I don't know. I'm just trying to paint a picture of a loving Florida family and what could make it all go south. Let's continue the play-by-play. The father told the officers he placed a hand on his son's shoulder in an attempt to escort him out of the home as well. That's when the Florida man's son punched his father in the face, splitting his lip. The father said he pushed his son away and then called 911. When the police arrived, they noticed the victim's lip injury and described him as, quote, visibly shaken. Yes, I'd imagine he's visibly shaken. His son punched him in the face after chilling with a prostitute in the living room, perhaps. Was it the dining room? It doesn't indicate what they were doing, what room they were in, but perhaps they were in the den having a cigar. Now, there's some statements from the victim's wife, also known as the mother of the Florida man. Also, the daughter was there. They all corroborated. So I assume it's the parents' home. The daughter told the police she overheard the argument from another room and heard her brother make death threats toward their father. When questioned, the son appeared intoxicated and repeatedly interrupted the police officers. He admitted that his father had been upset about the woman of the night that he brought home, but denied assaulting him. Oh yeah, Florida man, how do you explain that split lip? The son was arrested and put in the county jail where he can spend all day and night with a prostitute if he prefers. A Florida man robs lottery and scratch-off tickets from a convenience store and goes back to the same store to redeem the winnings. Florida man robbed $7,000 worth of scratch-offs from a convenience store and then foolishly returned to the same store less than 2 hours later and attempted unsuccessfully to cash in his winnings. Florida man, not too bright. But, I mean, what's he going to do? It's not like you can take those scratch tickets and redeem your winnings at, I don't know, another convenience store of the bazillion that are in your area. I mean, they take these things at gas stations, Sevlevs, everywhere. Why would you go back to the same store? That's just, I mean, why? I mean, here I am asking why. Asking why to a Florida man? I might as well ask why to the sky. I mean, in his mind, the plan is completely foolproof. No leaks in there. Yeah, they'll never recognize me. I'll change my shirt. I mean, he doesn't even bother to send like a girlfriend back, or anybody that you know could go back in place of you and go to a different store to at least attempt to redeem them. Although I don't think you can, because they have serial numbers and can be traced. And as soon as they're stolen, they're probably reported. And then the database will flag these particular tickets. But hey, what do I know about robbing convenience stores of scratch-offs? But again, there's foolproof plans, and then there's Florida man's foolproof plans. And they're not even in the same galaxy. All right, let me get back into the article. It says, after equally unsuccessful second and third tries, suspect Florida man Justin Farley, age 43, instead used a replica handgun to rob a nearby 7-Eleven, making off with $120 in cash and a pack of Newport cigarettes, according to the affidavit. Second and third tries at what? Redeeming the tickets? You went back a second and third time to the same convenience store to turn in the tickets? I'm extremely confused with the facts of this case. Under questioning by police, Farley, the Florida man, allegedly confessed, telling officers that he simply, quote, needed the money. He's now facing one count of interference with commerce by threat or violence. Interference with commerce. Is that what they're calling armed robbery these days? Interference with commerce. That's just so silly to me. What happened? Were you robbed? No, I wasn't robbed. Somebody interfered with my commerce, meaning they took all my cash and now I can't do any commerce. Interference with commerce could be somebody taking too long to pay in front of you in line. I mean, what are they going to change this language for laws and police lingo? Okay, back to the story. I found a better article that breaks down all that happened. It says at 8 p.m., Farley pulled into the gas station in St. Petersburg, walked inside the Circle K, where he engaged with a store employee. Ooh, this sounds like the beginnings of interference with commerce. At that point, Farley opened multiple cabinets and took scratch-off lottery tickets, then left the Circle K at 8:28. He drove away in a gray Hyundai Elantra. Some 40 minutes later, Farley showed up at an area 7-Eleven and tried to redeem the winning scratch-offs, to no avail. It says he was inside for less than a minute, then got back behind the wheel of his gray Hyundai and then left. At 10:11 p.m., the gray Hyundai returned to the Circle K, the original location where Farley attempted to interfere with commerce. Farley got out and headed inside, after which he unsuccessfully attempted to cash the lottery tickets that he previously stole from this exact location. Defeated, the Florida man walked out. Defeated. Florida man is never defeated, my friend, only delayed. Florida man walked out about 10 minutes later, drove away. Roughly 10 minutes after that, the gray Hyundai appeared again outside the same Circle K. Farley exited the car, re-entered the convenience store. Once inside, Florida man tried again to redeem his winning tickets, but again walked out penniless. You think the Florida man would, augment his plan at any point? Maybe go to a further away, maybe a gas station in a different county, or maybe just, wait a day or send your mother-in-law to cash these in. It says at this point, an empty-handed Florida man Farley drove back to the 7-Eleven, where at 11:48 p.m. he entered the store wearing a black mask, yellow shirt, and black Nikes, jumped right over the counter and pointed a black semi-automatic handgun at the clerk. The clerk said that Farley, the Florida man, was still unidentified at that point and told her to open the cash register, which she complied. The suspect removed approximately $120 from the cash register and escorted the clerk to the back room. Then the suspect stole a pack of Newport cigarettes cigarettes from behind the counter, climbed over the counter, and exited the store. He had a speedy getaway in his gray Hyundai. But, of course, everything is on video, and they identified Farley as the vehicle's registered owner, because you want to drive your own vehicle to these places when you're interfering with commerce. Now, the article ends by saying Farley, the Florida man, has a significant criminal history. Wow, what a surprise. This lists past felony convictions for sale of cocaine, possession of a controlled substance, felon in possession of a firearm, felon in possession of a firearm, possession of oxycodone. Of course, all of these discretions aren't enough to keep a Florida man out of your neighborhood and interfering with the commerce that's going on.
When did making plans get this complicated? It's time to streamline with WhatsApp, the secure messaging app that brings the whole group together. Use polls to settle dinner plans. Send event invites and pin messages so no one forgets Mom's 60th. And never miss a meme or milestone. All protected with end-to-end encryption. It's time for WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. Learn more at whatsapp.com.
A Florida man has been arrested for stealing several pigeons from a home. An unusual incident shocked Florida residents when police arrested Florida man Lazaro Diaz, who is 54 years old. He is accused of stealing several pigeons from a home. The incident occurred in the early mornings around 3 a.m. and was captured on security cameras. The pigeon heist. Awfully strange to be stealing pigeons. Somebody want to tell this Florida man that pigeons at the park are completely free? You could just take as many as you want, buddy. Let's get back into the story and see if we can find a motive. For Florida man, a motive. I mean, imagine trying to find a motive. I know, but I have lofty aspirations when I do Florida Fridays, I think I can apply reason to Florida man's antics. Now, in the security camera footage, the suspect is seen climbing onto the roof of a home, grabbing several birds and placing them inside a bag. Not only the birds seen in the video were stolen, but also, quote, numerous other pigeons that were kept in a cage out of camera view. Local police are continuing their investigation to determine the individual's intent in stealing the pigeons. Well, perhaps Florida man was going to train them to deliver weed. That seems like a popular use of pigeons these days. Maybe these were to feed his family for Thanksgiving. I don't know. Just trying to figure this out. Could be a rescue mission, maybe. Maybe he works for PETA or one of these animal rights organizations. He's freeing the pigeons that were about to be kebabbed. Maybe he had some insider information. He knew that these pigeons were about to be burritoed by somebody. Burritoed, Jonesy? I don't think that's a word in the English language. Yeah, it is. Burritoed. That means the act of turning something into a burrito. Burritoed. You can also say tacoed and enchiladed. Enchiladed? These pigeons might have been enchiladed if not for this brave Florida man's rescue mission. Now, the next section of the article is titled The Arrest. The arrest came a few days later when officers spotted the Florida man loitering in the area in the early mornings. Diaz is a homeless man, they say, was already known to police due to previous incidents in the city, which made his identification much easier. They transferred the suspect to a correctional center. Why can't I speak? The man faces charges of burglary and grand theft under Florida law, third-degree grand theft, when the value of the stolen goods ranges from $750 to $20,000, can be punished with up to 5 years in prison, probation, and fines of up to $5,000. So far, the exact value of these pigeons have not been reported. It's nothing. They're worth nothing. They're pigeons. They're everywhere. They're free. I could be wrong, though. Maybe they're worth something. The next section is titled The Cultural Significance of Pigeons in Hialeah, Florida. The case has generated comments among residents as pigeons, beyond being pets or breeding birds, have a very special value in Hialeah and other South Florida communities where there are breeders dedicated to flying competitions and exhibitions of the pigeons. So I guess pigeon races are a thing popular in this particular area. Some breeds can fetch high prices in the specialized market, making these birds an attractive target for theft. For many residents, pigeons also represent a symbol of tradition, especially among Cuban families who maintain the custom of raising them as part of their daily lives. Oh, I apologize. I was making assumptions here that these pigeons weren't important or worth anything. I thought he was just grabbing pigeons from a rooftop. But no, these are not ordinary pigeons. They have sentimental value, and maybe they even make money. I don't know. The last section of this article is titled, An Unusual Case in the Midst of Social Problems. This arrest rekindles conversations about the homeless crisis in Miami-Dade. According to the official data, hundreds of individuals are living on the streets, many with mental health or addiction issues, which sometimes translates into minor crimes that directly impact the community. Although pigeon theft may seem like an unusual incident, deeper issues lie behind the case. Security in residential neighborhoods, the cultural value of certain animals, such as pigeons, and the need to address the social causes that might be linked to crimes of this type. Wow, that was an extremely organized article there for a Florida Friday story. It's much too organized, I would say. Usually I just like to fly by the seat of my pants, but this article didn't allow that. I mean, it was the epitome of organization. I mean, come on, guys, look at us getting organized on a Florida Friday episode. Who knew? Who knew? A Florida man is arrested after assaulting a strip club manager with a cheeseburger. This story is out of our favorite county in Florida, Pinellas. Say it with me, guys, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Pinellas County. By the way, my fantasy football team name in the Weird AF News Fantasy Football League is Pinellas County Tweakers. Just giving you a little peek into our lovely world. I mean, if that doesn't make you want to sign up for the Patreon and join our fantasy football league next season, I don't know what is. What would? Pinellas County Sheriff's Office said that Florida man Jordan Cotto, age 26, is arrested on a battery charge after he hit a person with a cheeseburger, also known as assault with a deadly weapon. Come on. Just come on. Okay, let's get some more details. I want to find out what happened, what went down. Clearly, these two had some beef. That's abundantly clear. The incident happened at Atlantis Gentlemen's Club. I mean, at this point, are we going to call them gentlemen's clubs still? I mean, in Florida, that's a gentlemen's club? I don't think so. First of all, there's no gentleman in Florida, so, your premise is just totally off base. Now, here's the backstory. Apparently, Floridaman Cotto is a former employee of the Gentlemen's Club. He went to the strip club to speak with the manager, according to the arrest affidavit. He then allegedly got into an argument with the manager, grabbed a cheeseburger from his vehicle, threw it from his vehicle, striking the victim. My goodness, where did he hit him? Was it the face? Was it the shoulder? I have to know. Hopefully there's a diagram of it. Let me get back into the cheesy story. Cotto, the Florida man, admitted to throwing the cheeseburger and said, quote, "I would do it again." This guy has no remorse at all. Can you imagine a Florida man with no remorse? He said he'd do it again. He said he would assault a man with a cheeseburger again. I mean, you can't have such creatures on the streets of Florida. This is an upstanding community. Cotto, the Florida man, was arrested and charged with battery. Battery with a cheeseburger. Who would have thought? But, in Florida, I believe that's called keeping it real. Standing your ground beef.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
Hello, my friends and loyal listeners of the Weird AF News Podcast. Thank you for spending this Florida Friday episode with me, and thank you for sending me Florida stories, those of you that did the past couple days. You can always email me at funnyjones@gmail.com, and I have an Instagram at funnyjones, and you can slide into my DMs. It is encouraged to slide in. Just slide in there and let me know how you feel. Anyways, shout-outs, thanks to everybody that's been messaging me. I got a great message from Jesse Hartman, and Jesse and I went back and forth on the gram, because I talk to my listeners on the gram sometimes, quite frequently. Anyways, Jesse just said, she says, "Jonesy, I told my my kid that we exchanged messages, and being that you're the most famous person we know, his mouth dropped and he said, "Who's next, Mom? Mr. Beast? LOL." But it totally made his day. We listen to you every morning. He wanted me to let you know he said hi. His name is Roman. So shout out to Roman Hartman for being a big fan of Weird AF News. I don't have a lot of young listeners, as I've said. And so the few that I get, I want to give them some love and let them know I appreciate their listenership. Also it says Jonesy, Roman said to say, "Good luck with your life, man." Thank you, Roman. And good luck with your life, buddy. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Shout out to the Hartmans for being fans of the show. I'm awfully flattered that you guys think I'm famous, because that is couldn't be further from the truth. But thank you anyways. I guess, as they say, it's the thought that counts. And of course, I always enjoy the appreciation. So that makes me feel nice and warm and fuzzy inside. I hope you'll continue listening, Hartman family. And if I'm ever in your neighborhood, please save me a couch so I can crash. I don't know where you guys are at, but I swear one day I'm going to do a tour. I really am. I'd like to do a comedy tour all over the country, and Canada as well. The problem is, it's like I don't have enough followers to sell tickets yet. So I was hoping I'd have enough by now, but I'm still stuck at like under 8,000 Instagram followers, and you need much, much more to do a comedy tour. My friends that do a comedy tour, minimum 250,000 you need. 250,000 followers, then you can kind of do a comedy tour. You can start there. I'm not even close to that, so I know a lot of you reach out to me and go, "Can you come to Gary, Indiana and do a show?" I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sell 5 tickets in Gary, and then I'm going to lose my shirt on a plane ticket, so it's just not feasible at this point. I was hoping it would be, but, I'm going to keep dreaming. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep pushing along. By the way, follow me on the gram at Funny Jones if you could. And I'm on Instagram also at Funny Jones. All those. I just dropped something. What was that? What the heck was that? My joke notes. I write jokes. I got a stack of joke notes. Hear all that? That's just notes for every episode. Anyways, maybe I should. I'll do a video showing you all my joke notes. Maybe I'll do that sometime, and I'll give you a peek inside how the sausage is made. I've shared many photos of closets that I've recorded in. So there's that. Anyways, I'm rambling. What am I doing? I'm rambling. Anyways, I'm going to let you go. Enjoy your weekend. Come on. Don't talk to me anymore. Oh, if you want to support the show, please go to weirdafnews.com. You can buy Jonesy a coffee, or you can join the Patreon, or you can make a PayPal donation. You can do all those things. You can also leave a review. That helps too. Tell a girlfriend. Tell a boyfriend. Tell all your friends. Hey.